My name's Tom Baldwin. I'm the prospective parliamentary candidate for Bristol South for the new Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, or TUSC. I'm 26 years old. I live here in Bedminster, and I'm a member of the Socialist Party and of the Trade Union Unite. And at the moment we're in the depth of a capitalist crisis. And while we're being told to prepare for an age of austerity, there's absolutely no sign of those bankers tightening their belts. We don't think it should be like this. We're standing to provide an alternative. With all the main parties being essentially the same, with things like the MP's expenses scandal, then a lot of people will be put off from voting altogether, or may consider voting for a party like the BNP. And while they claim to stand for white working class people, then their policies of racism divide workers against each other and only help the bosses profit further at our expense. And actually, where they've council positions, the BNP have a record of voting for the cuts budgets of the establishment parties. And so TUSC has been set up to provide a genuine alternative to them. It's been set up with the support of leading trade unionists, the likes of Bob Crow, the General Secretary of the Rail and Maritime Transport Workers Union, the RMT, and also involves a number of socialist organisations, including the Socialist Party. When New Labour has been so keen to prove what friends of big business that they are, that they've cut the rate of tax paid by companies on their profits, we think that should be reversed. And at the same time, billions of pounds of tax go uncollected or avoided by wealthy people, the likes of the Tory peer Lord Ashcroft, who use all kinds of loopholes to avoid paying tax in this country. And at the same time, the government is actually cutting the very civil service departments that collect that tax. So we think the super rich should be made to pay more tax, should be made to pay their share. Also, workers are facing all kinds of attacks on our wages, on our conditions at work, on our very jobs themselves. And yet we're hamstrung in fighting back against those attacks by the most restrictive anti-trade union laws in Western Europe. We think those laws should be repealed so workers can fight back to defend their interests. And you've got companies like the steelmaker Chorus, or more locally like Cadbury's, that are making a profit, but it's never enough for them, and they're cutting jobs in order to increase the amount of money that they make. We think companies like that should be taken into public ownership. Let's put their profits back into the vital services that we rely upon, and we can then prioritise workers' livelihoods ahead of making profits. Let's nationalise all the big banks and big businesses that dominate the economy so they can work for us, rather than our tax money being used to bail them out and prop up their profits.